Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 375 of the All You Can Hear podcast. I'm Wenzel, one of your co-hosts for today, and joining me is
fulfilled and ready for the future. Cold, swollen with goodness, belly so full of light and love, so full of everything is all right in the video game world only. Colt. I don't know if I said my name, but hey, it's me.
So if anybody who's kept up on our Bluesky, which you should go follow us there, I kind of did like a live skeeting. That sounds really weird. No, actually, I just did live, post of us reacting to everything we saw at the TGAs. This is going to be the TGA's after show where we talk about the world premieres, because if you've been living under a rock or you didn't know, there was a lot of stuff announced at the TGAs when there were not rumors but like hints that this one was going to be big. They were not lying. Also didn't realize this was or maybe we said it in the predictions episode that this is the 10th anniversary. I don't know if we said that, but
I don't think we did.
I don't think we did. I just want to say the 10th anniversary. That's also just a big deal in general. So yeah, we're just going to be going over all of the big premieres. We pretty much have everything on here. There's like some little stuff here and there, but we're not going to talk about that because
we're not going to talk about every fucking gacha game that was announced or is getting an update.
There was so much gacha, it was crazy. Yeah, we're not doing that. And
well, hold on, before we get into the good stuff, we might as well complain about the amount of gacha, because there was, let's see, 1 for Genshin, 2 for Zenless Zone Zero. Well, I'm counting them out. There wasn't 2 Zenless Zone Zero, 2 Zenless Zone Zero, 3 Star Rail, 4 that DNF one, 5 that Wuthering Waves, and technically 6 with Nikki, the new one.
Yeah.
And there's too many gacha games, okay? There's too many gacha games. Can we just get, like, I don't know, a full price game with content that, like, maybe they'll add, like, an expansion that adds new shit that you can buy out fully and not everything's locked behind a goddamn loot box? I'm sorry, Jeff. I just need you to, like, there was probably 20 minutes of the show dedicated to gacha games, and I feel like that time could have gone somewhere more important. I mean, shit, I'd rather it have gone to the award people.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you there. Could have probably give it to the award people, since what is it? Jeff complains so much about time. Because no, to be fair, the voice actor for Kratos went really fucking long. So that's no, I think there was like some stuff I think last year about how there were award winners talking, and like they were telling them to wrap it up, and they didn't really get to say much or something. I can't remember, but no, I think maybe that time slot could have gone to the winners being able to say their thanks to everybody that they wanted to, or say what they want to. I don't know, unless these companies are paying Jeff, then fine, whatever.
It just sucks to see so many gacha games that look exactly the same. Nikki doesn't really count. It doesn't look like the typical anime gacha game, but it's still gacha. Not happy about that. But everything else, it just, DNF game looks like Wuthering Waves. And guess what? Wuthering Waves looks exactly like Genshin Impact. And they all play exactly the same. It's Gooner games. And I'm tired of it, man. Let me pay fully for the Gooner game, okay? Like Stellar Blade. That's a Gooner game. I'll gladly pay outright for the game. Just no more gacha.
It's so funny because I know of these, but really the only one that I always remember the name of is Genshin Impact. And every time we watch this stuff, we see like the what will be like a trailer for like a different gacha game or something, I immediately think, oh, that's Genshin Impact. But then Colt or Tanner or whoever says like, oh no, that's Honkai Star Rail, or that's Wuthering Waves, or that's I don't know the other one, Zenless Zone Zero. I'm like, what? What do you mean? There's different ones? They look the same. What
It
are you
doesn't
talking
help
about?
that 3 of the big ones are made by
The
the
same
same
company.
person, and all the characters look the same. The only thing that's different is the aesthetics of the main world that they're in.
Yeah.
It's so frustrating. Why do they need 3 different games? Just make it under one hub, please. I'm so tired of gacha games.
I mean, it's kind of like a
Specifically Horrorverse.
like Warhammer, you know? There's Warhammer and then there's Warhammer 40K because Warhammer 40K takes place in the year 40,000 or sorry, yeah, 40,000, you know, around that time. Yeah, I don't know. It all looks the same and if you tell me otherwise, I'm going to tell you I'm sorry, but you're wrong. And I can say that cuz I'm an artist. I don't know. I don't know. That's just me. I did the
Hey,
same.
I can say it because I play so many fucking video games that I can tell the difference between video games, and I know the difference between these 3 Hoyoverse games and not really Wuthering Waves and Genshin, because to me personally, they look so fucking close. Like, I would struggle to tell if you gave me 2 different screenshots. But for the most part, I can tell games apart, and these games look too goddamn similar.
You know, that actually brings up a good point that I always find frustrating because don't get me wrong, I think game studios, you know, they should try their hardest to make a game that stands out, that has style, that looks, you know, unique. And I know there's this kind of there's always this talk because a lot of these companies, or sorry, a lot of the companies in the AAA category push really hard for very realistic graphics, and I know that's, you know, um that's a big thing because like I said, like eventually like you're just getting, you know, realisms, just everything looks like everything else, you know, it looks real. And for the most part currently right now with with these companies and these games that are pushing so far into pushing far graphically like that, a lot of them I can still tell the difference because for the most part there's different things in these worlds and how these characters look and these people, you
And the way
know.
they design their HUDs and just the
Yeah, so,
aesthetics, the vibes, so they have like filters or gradients, whatever.
yeah, and I always hate it whenever people are like, oh, these all look the same, and I'm like, they look different. I mean, yeah, sure, you can say like the realism thing kind of like hurts it in that regard, but for the most part I can tell the difference. I'm like, I do not see the same conversations being had about the gacha games because they all look the fucking same, especially from the Hoyoverse company or whatever. Hoya.
I
Like,
agree. I can tell 9 times out of a 10. I'm giving that 1 just in case, because like really though, I feel pretty damn confident. I can tell like what a game is just by
yeah.
showing me a screenshot. For Call of Duty, I will get 100% of the games right if you ask me just with a random screenshot. What Call of Duty game is this from? I would be able to answer that 100% confidently.
Oh yeah, for sure. And they say like, oh well, you know, the Call of Duty engine, you know, blah blah blah. It's like, no, there are differences. You can tell. I mean, especially graphically too, because you can't compare Black Ops 2 to Black Ops 3. There's a huge gap between those two games graphically. Like there's a difference. And same thing with Black Ops 1, but also too, you can tell the difference between Black Ops 1 and Modern Warfare.
But
Like,
then again, this really all comes down to how much fucking game time do you have, or how many games do you play? And let's be real, you and I both play the shit out of Call of Duty. We play almost every single year. But then again, I haven't played like Vanguard or mostly just Vanguard.
I mean,
Yeah.
sure, but these conversations are for people who are also kind of in the same sphere, in the
Yeah.
same, you know, like even if you haven't played a lot of Call of Duty like we have, I mean, if you're into video games and you played a lot of video games, or you know, we're not talking about casual people who just like offhand just see shit and just like kind of just, you know, just passing by, a passerby or whatever. We're not talking about that. Because it's like the same thing with anything, you know? Like, yeah. Yeah, yeah. But you're right though. We play a lot of Call of Duty, so we have that kind of experience.
But yeah, gotcha games. We need to have a conversation at some point about as a whole, as a community of video game people. there's got to be enough. There's a breaking point somewhere, and I feel like it has to come sooner. Please let it come sooner rather than later. Because we had that conversation with loot boxes, and these are basically just loot boxes, but nobody's calling it that. And I don't understand why.
I don't know.
But yeah, that's the only really downside of the TGA. So I think we should probably get into the goods.
I don't know about that. I don't know. Jeff wanted to. I think we should say Jeff had the whole cast of Sesame Street executed.
Well, to be fair, it's 100% understandable. Those dudes were bullying the shit out of him. Like I was thinking he would like have them executed on stage for them being so mean to him, especially Kojima. Kojima looked like he was about to cry. So did Jeff.
Yeah. So also, if anybody doesn't know, Statler and Waldorf were there at the TGAs. It was actually a really funny bit.
I really liked it.
I really liked it, and it was just, and we love it too because we just like to think that Jeff is like a loose cannon, like he's just gonna go, or like he's like secretly like, you know, super just fucking just insane, like Roman emperor, like crazy. And there was a bit in there where they talked about how Hideo and Jeff aren't really friends, and the camera pans to Hideo in the crowd, and it genuinely looked like Hideo was about to cry. It was so sad but funny because it was like that was real emotion being like on Hideo's face. It was so funny.
What if Kojima doesn't think they're puppets? They're just real people being assholes interrupting the show.
Hideo doesn't realize the Sesame Street or the Muppets are puppets. He doesn't realize that. Hey, you know what? Don't break the illusion.
You know, I wouldn't tell him. If I found that out, I would not say a word.
Can you imagine though? Like that's why. What if he's invited the Muppets or like Sesame Street to his like office, but they're like they keep like saying like, oh, I don't know, like, you know, blah blah blah, because they don't want to break the illusion for him that these are just puppets.
Damn.
Wouldn't that be crazy? That's kind of sad.
Damn. You know what? It's sad, but also it makes me happy because they're not going to break it for him.
We're completely making this up.
Yeah, this isn't real. But they did have the puppets, and it did look like Kojima was crying.
I'm not joking about that. That was really, really interesting there. Yeah, for the most part, just talking about the show in general, it was great. It was a great time. Look, I'll say this too. We're not going to tell you everybody who won the awards. If you want to go and see who won the awards, go do that. If you want to see what predictions we got wrong, I'm sorry, go do the work yourself because we're not here to talk about that. The only award that we care about was Game of the Year, and Astro Bot won Game of the Year, which congrats, by the way. If Astro Bot, you're listening to this, congrats.
Very happy for you. I've seen a lot of hate from people saying, like, I've never seen this game before. I've never heard of this game. I've never seen a single ounce of gameplay. I've just seen a bunch of people dick riding. And I got to say, you should get out of your bubble.
Or like your rock.
Learn anything about the video game industry, because this video game was huge in the minds of every person that reviews video games and plays video games pretty seriously. And also just take into
PlayStation because sorry.
I was going to say, just take into account that this is the Game Awards. It's like the fucking Electoral College when it comes down to it. Let's be real. Your vote doesn't matter as much. But the delegates, aka the press that the TGAs use as their judges, are the people that really matter when it comes to the final bits for the Game of the Year. I don't know how it works for the smaller awards, which was funny because they barely had any time at all. It was just like 10 awards in a row. All right, guys, here's the next world reveal. But that's the video game awards. If you come in expecting anything else, I don't know why you're here. It's been 10 years, guys.
Again, don't, if you're still complaining about that, you can fuck right off because the world premieres for this one were especially incredible. And we didn't say this in in our predictions episode, but me and Colt talked about this, how or Colt specifically said this, that the TGAs and video games in general are like way ahead in this aspect in like more than any industry, because we talked about it. We were like, if the Oscars would do what the Game Awards does and like have like teaser trailers or new films from directors revealed, like, you know, a world premiere, or let's say if the Grammys had like new songs with the music video shown there, or like, you know, album announcements or something there at the Grammys, I mean, you'd probably have me, Colt, a lot more people watching and excited for these things. But I mean, it's just, they literally just do the awards, people give speeches, and then that's it. And, you know, you might have a controversy here and there, but that's, I mean, no, like I don't care. And
And it's
yeah,
not like I think those shouldn't exist. I think they should. It's just that's not for me. That's not what I want from an award show personally. Because I don't like award shows. I think I've said this before. I find them boring. But I love to learn about the next new thing.
yeah, like, I don't know. It's just video games are ahead in that, and it makes me really happy. Yeah, and also too, Snoop Dogg, didn't realize Snoop Dogg was going to perform. He actually performed a new song from his new album that just came out, which is also funny because they did it. They literally did what I just talked about, is like performing a song or having a music video or something of a new song for a new album from a new artist. They literally did it at the Game Awards. And then they did their performance for Arcane with 21 Pilots, David, and Royal and the Serpent. It wasn't too bad, actually.
I thought it was good. I as somebody that's a 21 Pilots hater, it was a good song. I enjoyed the performance.
My only complaint, and this is throughout the whole fucking show, was the audio was so bad. Their mics were just something was happening where they would play these trailers and there would be commentary either from the developers or people in the trailers themselves talking. You could not hear them. You could only hear the music. And same thing with whenever they did their performances, is you could barely hear any of the singers. You couldn't hear David, you couldn't hear Royal and the Serpent, you couldn't hear Tyler from 21 Pilots. Like the only time I think that it was fine was during Snoop Dogg's performance. That was the only time. And also too, there was a sound of like what sounded like a kettle running.
Yeah, you could always hear the tea kettle going off. Somebody just needed to get that off the heater.
Yeah. Also too, sadly, Black Myth Wukong won way too many awards than we expected. So that's kind of a bummer.
Hey, like I said, as long as it doesn't win Game of the Year, and it didn't, thank God. We may have lost the main election that really matters, but hey, fucking Nazi Hitler did not win the Game of the Year. Just kidding. It's just they're sexist. They're just sexist. They're not Nazis.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to world premieres now, officially. So sorry to keep you guys waiting. First up, we got this is really cool. Was a Ninja Gaiden Ragebound. This is being made by the Game Kitchen, who made Blasphemous, and it's going to be a 2D action kind of, you know, same vein, side scroller. And it's coming summer 2025. We didn't really get a hard release date, but yeah, they even had a special like animation. It's from the people at the Game Kitchen too, that they put in Blasphemous 2 and some stuff for Blasphemous. But it was really cool.
It was really nice. I still haven't played Blasphemous to the full extent that I should, but this game looked fun.
This game, when it said the Game Kitchen and then we see the gameplay, I'm like, this is literally just Blasphemous, but Ninja Gaiden, and I am actually pretty excited for it. I think it looks really cool. I did see some talk from journalists talking about how this game might be a tough sell because it's going to be 2D, which might be like inaccessible for some people, and since the past like Ninja Gaiden games haven't reviewed well, that it might be tough for people to want to get on board on this. I'm like who, like, I'm like, sure, but okay, I don't know.
Yeah, I get it. If the Ninja Gaiden, the original audience, is not used to 2D, I guess, sure. But I'm not picky when it comes to video games unless it's like very specific tactic genre or something like that. I'm just not a picky person, so I'm interested.
Cue in how many games Colt will not play. Go ahead and go. Throw that in there, Pat.
Not many, really.
Sorry, I'm letting Pat put in the full list of games that Colt won't play. So, all right, well, there you go.
I want to play Black Myth Wukong still, even though
that was the full list right there. All the games that Colt won't play. Is Colt a hypocrite? You tell us.
I know.
I don't know. I just won't play games I don't care. I don't want to play Gacha. I don't really care for real-time strategy. What else?
Specific puzzle games too. It's got to be. It's got to be very specific puzzle games, and I can't even think of one that I wouldn't want to play.
I don't want to say I'm not picky either, but I wanted to name some real ones I won't play. But I feel like there's more games that I won't play, and I don't want to. I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's fine. So we're gonna go to the next world premiere, which was The Witcher 4. It was pretty awesome. We got a kind of a CG cinematic trailer. It was really cool. Even see Ciri get to fight some kind of monster. I don't know what it is. But it was super sick. Basically, she was trying to stop a young woman from being sacrificed to this village who they believe to be their kind of like a deity, a god. So she ends up killing the monster, but they still kill the woman as a sacrifice. And again, it brings up, some of most of the themes of The Witcher, and that is that human beings can be the real monsters,
Yeah, but there are real monsters in The Witcher.
There are real monsters. And it was really cool because they talked about the gods in there, and Ciri is like, there are no gods, there's only monsters. I thought that was pretty sick. Ciri will be the protagonist for this, of course. It's logical. This went into full-scale production. God damn it.
What?
I didn't realize my iPhone was listening to me because I kept saying Ciri.
Oh, wow.
Sorry about that. So it went into full-scale production back in November of this year. Sierra or Kiara, I'm not sure. Berkeley was cast as Ciri, replacing Joe Wyatt, and she voiced in The Wild Hunt. Doug Cockle will reprise his role as Geralt,
which is great. He at the end of Witcher 3, he basically him retiring and passing on the mantle to Ciri, and people be like, but that was just one ending. Yeah, it's the one that they're going to use as canon. So get over it, you little fuckface. You're going to be playing as Ciri, and you played as her a little bit in The Wild Hunt. So she's a cool character. She's a cool person. And Geralt is actually endorsing her, so fuck you. And if you care about her being a woman, you don't even care about Witcher in the first place. So just get out of here.
I was going to say Ciri is like very important, and she's also a Witcher. Like, it just makes sense for the mantle and for everything to kind of be passed down like this. I mean, were we gonna play the side Witchers? Like, who the fuck? Like,
I mean, I wouldn't mind playing as I can't remember his name. It's been so long. I need to replay Witcher 3 before this game comes out. But Gerald's mentor guy, I can't remember his name, but he was really cool. I would like to explore him. There's a lot of Witcher stuff that you can explore outside Gerald that I'm down to do. But I've been wanting a Ciri game, so fuck yeah, we're getting it with Witcher 4.
Yep. I also saw too where basically like I said, the mantle being passed down, but also Ciri is gonna kind of be making her own codex of monsters and stuff. So I think that's again like kind of not starting from the ground up per se, but like a whole new Witcher experience or from a fresh set of eyes. So I think that's pretty cool.
And she
But,
kills a cool monster by using Kratos' chains to cut its head off.
oh my gosh, yeah, I didn't even talk about that. The chains that she has is really sick. Oh gosh, like she burnt its neck. Oh, that was really cool.
Just a crazy thing for Jeff to start off with. It set the tone, and it set it nice.
I'm currently going through everything. I don't have it in order, by the way. It just literally just going through. But yeah. Next world premiere that we got was Shadow Labyrinth. Is a dark take on a 45-year-old character. You want to guess? Go ahead. Because when we watched it, we were like, what is this? But then I saw a little symbol or a certain little outline of a character, and I was like, oh my fucking god. It's Pac-Man. It's gonna be Pac-Man, but it's a 2D action platformer. That's kind of like a horror kind of esque dark Pac-Man. This is actually teased in the secret level episode of for him.
I got to get around to watching that because I've seen some clips from it, and it looks pretty sick.
It's pretty crazy, and yeah, this is they're aiming for a 2025 window release window. So yeah, this looked pretty cool too. By the way, I'm very interested.
Oh yeah, I definitely want to give this a check because it looked like it played pretty fun.
Yeah, no, it looked pretty cool. Especially at the end, we get like a gooey, dark Pac-Man. They're crazy. But all right. Next up is we got Fumito Ueda's next project. This is the same person who developed and created Ico, Shadow of the Colossus, and The Last Guardian. This game currently is untitled, but is working under the name Project Robot. Ueda and his studio Gen Design, they tease this game that shows a giant mech and a pilot and some kind of like world-ending disaster, and there's like this countdown throughout the little teaser that has this very scraggly kind of electronic female voice that I don't know, it sounded really cool and like kind of gave me a little bit of anxiety because this character is climbing up their mech, and their mech is huge too, and they detach the mech's head and try to fly off, but they still end up getting hit by the wave. I'm very curious, like an apocalyptic mech game from this developer. Like holy shit, dude. I mean,
it looks extremely up my alley and yours too.
Yeah. Oh,
there's just the little robot head ripping its spine outside of its body just to get away from what looks to be like a nuke blast wave coming in. God, that looks so cool. I'm kind of hoping you play as a little robot scavenging a war-torn planet, trying to get the enough parts to make your own robot or something along those lines. I think that'd be cool. But if not, either way, I think it's fucking awesome that we're going to be climbing giant mechs.
Yeah. It would it would be kind of cool too if you're climbing giant mechs to get like different parts of the mechs to make your own. Like I know you said small robot, but it would be like you get on the head part because you're trying to take the head to give your mech a head. The head.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, that's what I meant.
Was like very also like human-esque, like a giant like skull looking thing. It was really cool. It reminds me of a little bit of the exos from Destiny, and yeah, it just looks super sick.
The metal on the robot's face were kind of moving like muscle flaps. It was very interesting. If you were to remove your skin, it'd look like that.
Yeah, I think it's pretty close to the idea. Yeah. So this is a big reveal.
Maybe we'll see this game and it will probably release in 2030, somewhere in there. Realistically,
I will say I was trying to go through to see like what stuff got actual hard release dates, and nothing except for two things, and one of them wasn't a premiere. But yeah, so but for the most part, I mean, if they're gonna hit these windows, like I hopefully they do, 2025 is pretty stacked. Um, Next up is the Outer Worlds 2. We got the first gameplay revealed because this game was actually announced back in 2021, and the original or the first Outer Worlds came out in 2019. But this is, yeah, like I said, this is the first gameplay reveal, and it looks pretty cool. Me and Colt have not played Outer Worlds, and this trailer, I mean, we've both been meaning to play it, but I mean, with this one coming out hopefully 2025, also coming to day one on Game Pass, but it will be playable on PlayStation 5. Um, very hyped for this. It looks fun. It's basically like New Vegas in space. I love Obsidian. I love Fallout New Vegas. So I really want to play the first one.
Yeah, I've started the first one, but I couldn't play anymore because chromatic aberration was fucking up with my eyes and giving me a headache every time I tried to play it. Thankfully, they patched it, and you can now turn that setting off. So I got to jump into it at some point. But the gameplay they showed here, it felt like the 2010, 2011, whenever they first showed off New Vegas. It felt like watching the jump from Fallout 3 to New Vegas when it comes to the gameplay and the new features and just seeing the new guns. It just looks so fun. I need to get into it.
Yep. All right. Next up is the world premiere for the newest game from Hazelight Studios. This is the same studios that released A Way Out, It Takes Two, and the director is Yusuf Fares. He most, if anybody knows, he has made a name for himself, especially at the Game Awards, for being just really outspoken. Will say what's on his mind, and will hold nothing back. It's dude's fun. Dude's great. I think he's really a great guy.
Always look forward to seeing him at these things.
Yeah, and Jeff is for the most part a good sport too about it. Yeah. But yeah, this new game is Split Fiction, which is another co-op game just like the past two, and this stars, or the story is two aspiring writers who inadvertently wind up inside the simulation of one of their stories. They have to try to escape these simulations because this tech company is trying to steal their work. So they have to try to find their way out through the worlds that they created. And it jumps between a sci-fi world and a fantasy world. It looks awesome. I've It Takes Two actually won game of the year. Am I right?
Yes.
Or and me and Cole played it, loved it. It's definitely up there with one of my favorite games. It was just a great time, really funny too. And this looks really good. It just there's a lot going on here too, which I love.
And it's smashing two of my favorite genres together, but keeping them separate, but not really. But with the fantasy and then the sci-fi futuristic, I love that shit so much. I'm very excited for this. Just everything about it just looks so fun. Joseph Fares, he's like, this is gonna blow your mind. No, he's not British. I don't even know what his accent is. It's very unique. It's gonna blow your mind. This shit's gonna it's so unique. Never anything like it. And he usually delivers. So fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, no. I mean, I can't stress enough how great It Takes Two was, and legitimately like very very fun puzzle game, especially for co-op people. And what's cool too is that as with A Way Out and with It Takes Two and now this, you only need to buy one copy of the game to enjoy it co-op with a friend. The Friends Pass feature is what it's called, is being pushed further. Split Fiction will have cross-play options enabled for PlayStation, Xbox, and PC via Steam. Farrah's even said, he's like, that's what Hazelight is about. No loot boxes, no microtransactions, and no bullshit. You just get the game. He actually said that at there, but you could barely hear it. Yeah, this comes out March 6th. Very excited. Another game that comes out on March 6th that actually got its release date revealed was Fragpunk, a really fun multiplayer game that we talked about, I think, for Summer Games Fest. So yeah, March 6th looks to be a good day.
Oh yeah, gonna have a fun time there.
And one of the cool things too about this is that in one of the fantasy worlds, you get you and your friend get a baby dragon that throughout this level it will slowly but surely, like, you'll raise it. It's pretty cool. The sci-fi stuff looks sick. Again, a mashing of two of my favorite genres. A lot of people's favorite genres, I think. It looks incredible. All right. Next up is Borderlands 4. This is something that we've known that it would finally be revealed here. And it got revealed, and Randy Pitchford was there. Very fun. The release window for this is 2025, next year. So that's kind of crazy. So, according to the game's official description, players will battle the Timekeeper, a ruthless dictator who dominates the masses from on high. Now, a world-altering catastrophe threatens his perfect order, unleashing mayhem across the planet. Ignite a resistance and blast your way through mechanical monstrosities, bloodthirsty bandits, and vicious beasts. Amass an arsenal of death-dealing firepower to wreak havoc as you tear your way across Kairos.
Yeah, that sounds pretty sick. I'm a huge Borderlands fan. I love every single Borderlands game, even the Wonderlands. Fucking love Wonderlands. Very, very excited for this. Even the new Vault Hunters that we've seen. I'm assuming the four we see walking together, they are the Vault Hunters. One looks like a Viking. One person has looks like, honestly, they have the same proportions as Lucio. So maybe they're a tech person that summons like tech shit. But then again, there's a new guy he looks very plain, but he has technology that works similar to Zero or Zane from Borderlands 3. There's a Siren. Don't really know shit about her. And then there's like a Viking guy that has a really cool, maybe ultimate, where he throws two axes of varying elements.
Yeah, varying elements, because one looked blue and red. I think that maybe it'd be kind of cool if you could change the elements. So like you could do like different combinations, like fire and electricity, maybe fire and acid, or fire and ice. I don't know. I'm really curious about that. Yeah, like Cole, I love the Borderlands series, and this one too. It kind of starts like a almost like a CG cinematic trailer, but like with the usual Borderlands style, just a little more detailed. It looked really good. This footage too, like it was gameplay footage that we got as well. It just looked good in general. While you can tell it's a Borderlands game, it definitely seems like there's kind of like there's some differences in like technology and aesthetic. It's like there've always been like cybernetics in the game, but like it seems like there's more of a jump now with cybernetics, like more cyberpunkish. It looks really cool. Like the Viking guy that Colt mentioned, I don't know. I really liked his kind of get up because of how his implants or whatever, his armor looked really sick. The Siren looked really sick. She has pink tattoos, really cool. There was actually this really crazy scene of this psycho who doesn't have legs, who was breakdancing. It was really sick. Gosh, it looked just everything looked really cool. There's these enemies that we saw towards the beginning that are fighting this woman who's like on these like two mechanical like giant arms. Just crazy. It just everything about this looks crazy. I'm very excited for this. Me and Cole have talked about how we wanted another Borderlands for forever now, like a Border Worlds or something. And this looks awesome.
And fucked up that it's been Fuck, 5 years, and it'll be 6 years when this game comes out since Borderlands 3.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy, but I'm so fucking excited for this.
But you know, to be fair though, we've had Borderlands content at the very least. I mean, oh shit, I need to play Tales from the Borderlands 2.
Oh, yeah, you do. There's probably gonna be some stuff from that.
There's going to be
there.
stuff in there. Yeah. Yeah, this I assume the guy that we see towards the end of the trailer is the timekeeper dude. He kind of looked like a business executive with his getup, and he had like a gold like face mask kind of thing going on. It kind of reminded me of Handsome Jack.
Yeah, there was also some like weird, like random flashing of like glitching on the screen, which is obviously teasing something else.
Yeah. There was this red text that I assume they do that, so somebody probably is gonna have to go out there and decipher it. I assume they want people to decipher it. Yeah, it was really cool.
Maybe we'll finally get the full continuation of the Iridians. I'd like to see that.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we got this little indie thing. We actually won't talk about it too much. It's called Elden Ring, Night Rain. Yeah, Elden Ring stuff. Who cares? Going on to the next game. No, seriously though. This was pretty fucking crazy. Jeff, you motherfucker. Because
he was laughing when he introduced the game, which is completely understandable. But the whole like first 10 seconds of this trailer airing, I was like, why the fuck are you laughing? Is this a bit? This has to be a bit. I thought it was like, I don't know, a fucking Muppet inside of Elden Ring joke thing. Because we've gotten joke trailers in the past from the Game Awards. So I wasn't expecting much. Then I saw the storm closing in and the game's almost finished. So I thought Fortnite joke, Battle Royale, Elden Ring. Kind of right.
Yeah, like Colt said, he was laughing, and then we get Elden Ring footage that like we see it, and the thing is, Colt was like, "Oh, this is just a joke," blah blah blah. But I'm like, I'm looking at it, I'm like, no, because that's new shit right there. There's fucking giants walking. I'm like, there's no way. And then we see like this blue stuff, like this storm coming in. Like, I mean, not a bit like this blue wave coming in, and it's like a storm, and Colt's like, oh, you know, this is a joke, it's Elden Ring Battle Royale. And then the character takes a glider, which is a bird, and it's just like, nope. Like we get a full-on trailer for something that nobody had expected, unless you saw the From Software IP or registration or whatever forever ago. But yeah, this was this is a standalone okay, so I'll just read it here off of the Elden Ring wiki. So this is going to be a standalone spin-off game. It's going to be 3-player co-op rogue-like experience. So we say the battle royale, there are battle royale aspects to this. But it's not much. It's literally the map shrinking and
just dropped in a random spot in a randomly generated world, but that's not battle royale.
But that's no, not the drop. The gliding part where you have to glide and looting, kind of. That's really it. That's where it ends. There's no PvP. It's solely PvE.
At least as far as we know, I don't know anything about. There could be a PvP element.
There could be, but for right now, this is just strictly PvE. And how it works basically is that you're going to go like Colt said, it's randomly generated world, and it's going to be okay. So I mean, sorry. So basically, it's a new incursion journey or whatever every single time, and it's up to 3 players, and you have a choice of 8 characters. Each one has a different set of skills and ultimates. The ultimates are going to be in here. What isn't returning though, I will say, is like messages and stuff. You can't really put that on there, but yeah. And you're going to, like I said, you're going to have a magical spirit like bird that's going to act as your glider. The round table hold is returning. And also each of the characters have their own personalities and backgrounds and stories, and the round table hold. So whatever character you choose, that other character that isn't chosen will be at the round table hold that you can interact with. There's going to be new and returning enemies and NPCs. And how it works too is that every the session only lasts for 3 days, 3 in-game days. Each day is only 15 minutes long. And at the end of each 15 minutes or that day, you're going to fight a boss. And it's different every time. And then once you make it to the 3rd day and you make it to the end of that day, you're going to fight a Night Lord. There's going to be 8 different Night Lords. And over the course of doing these different journeys, you will unlock these Night Lords until you unlock them all. And then I think it's just random completely. So you're going to do it in an order. And then at some point, it's just going to be, eventually you're going to be able to unlock them all. And then it's just going to randomly generate after that point. Yeah, and of course, each Night Lord is going to be different, but that's going to be the big boss that you're going to fight. And then I think, too, at the end of each day, whenever you do fight that boss for that day, I think you were taken to a new area to fight them, so that that whenever you get back to the area that you're in, the storm resets, and then you have to again progress, loot, and do all this stuff while the storm shrinks and closes the area. And this area, by the way, is called Limveld. It is a parallel universe version of Limgrave. It doesn't affect the main canon of Elden Ring.
That doesn't mean that it won't give. Like I watched Vadi videos video on it. He's talked about how it doesn't mean that it doesn't affect the context of stuff that happens in the main Elden Ring timeline. It can still be an interesting story. It can still be a good story that you can care about. It could also potentially have implications for past FromSoft video games. Like even if those games are not connected to the main Elden Ring timeline, hail, they could be connected to these ones. Specifically, the Nameless King. For some reason, he's here. We got the Centipede Demon.
Yeah, so I should say that. So the bosses that we've seen or enemies that we've seen are actual bosses from past games. The Nameless King from Dark Souls 3. We saw the Centipede Demon from Dark Souls 1. We saw Duke's Dear Freya from Dark Souls 2, and it's not like they are reusing the assets, but like it was confirmed like these are who they are. And not only that, the Firekeeper from Dark Souls 3 is going to be at the round table hold. Like something's happening. So it said these the quote was that these are ancestral spirits or remnants of these characters, of these creatures or entities or whatever that are flooding into this world, this parallel universe. And like Colt said, and Vadividya said, that there might be content in here that has that puts into context stuff that did happen in the main canon of Elden Ring. So there might be stuff that helps us to better understand things, but again, this is parallel, so they never crossed with each other.
But also another fun thing that Vadia brought up is that it could have just been George R.R. Martin being an old man, but long while ago, George R.R. Martin said that it's going to act as a sequel to Dark Souls. Or a prequel, one of those. It's going to be related to the Dark Souls.
He said it's a sequel to Dark Souls. That's what he said. But George R.R. Martin, they had his comments dismissed because that wasn't accurate. And the game is out now, so now we know. But then Night Reign's out now, and now people are like, well, I don't know.
I mean, technically, it could still be a sequel to Dark Souls universe. It's just in its own story timeline. It's just different timeline.
I mean, different universe. I mean, that's the thing too that like really catches people is whenever they said ancestral remnants, because then that means that Dark Souls takes place in the past. So Elden Ring is a sequel because it takes place in the future. Like that's what's really getting people with that words. Like those are direct lines from this. From the website. Yeah, and sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off earlier. I was just wanting to state that, like, you're saying all these bosses. The reason why is because they're all from the past FromSoft games, which was insane because we're watching this thing and we see the Nameless King and we're like, what the like that is that the like we're both like, is that the Nameless King from Dark Souls? Like, no freaking way. I was like, maybe they're just reusing an asset, maybe it's a different character. It's like, no, they are reusing an asset. It's the same character. And yeah,
I hope we get like unique dialogue where the Nameless King's like, "What the fuck? How did I get here? I shouldn't be here."
The I don't know. It's just so freaking crazy. I mean, me and Colt were saying this, but I just could not stop thinking about this. This is such a huge surprise because like people were making jokes forever ago about the battle royale stuff, and somebody was like, "Oh, Elden Ring Battle Royale," and like somebody at FromSoft was like, "Hold on, let him cook." It's like, no, it was an offhand comment. It's like, hold on, let him cook. It's like he's not cooking, but yeah. And then the guy who's gonna be directing this game is this is his first game ever. Directing for FromSoft. He's worked on the past FromSoft Soulsborne games, so I mean he does have that background. But yeah, and then people have journalists and have gotten to play this game, and they gave a lot of details. I don't have on hand with me because there's a lot that they talked about that I'm just kind of still confused about that I would have to play personally. But it also does seem like there's also going to be kind of some wall jumping and running up, like more faster, agile gameplay, which I think is interesting too, with them throwing in old bosses as well. It's a whole. This is going to be a whole new experience, and I love too how Vaidi talked about this. How this is going to be a completely unique experience, but also too, a lot of people had trouble with Elden Ring's replayability, and with this coming out and being like kind of getting you like bite-sized like snippets and all these different things that you can do in this randomly generated world, it kind of gives Elden Ring a spotlight again in like replayability. I don't know. It's really interesting and actually kind of cool in that looking at it that way. Now there is going to be a network test in February next year. Registration starts on January 10th, and there's going to so far be people are thinking you're only going to be able to play the 4 confirmed heroes so far, but they could have the whole roster. The names of those characters are Wilder, Guardian, Duchess, and Recluse. Wilder we see through most of the trailer. He has this kind of arm, like not grapple hook, but like arm cannon thing that he uses. He looks really cool. Guardian is actually the Griffin Bird Man. They describe him as a tank character, so I think that's kind of interesting. He has some cool passives too. Duchess is the woman that has like kind of like daggers or whatever, who's wearing like the white pants. She kind of looks similar to Lady Maria from Bloodborne.
And she has a Bloodborne move.
Yeah. And then there's the recluse, which I don't know who the recluse was.
I think it's the wizard that we've seen in screenshots.
My bad. It was probably the wizard or sorcerer or whatever. Also too, your character can go down, but how to revive a person is you actually have to hit them. I think that's really funny.
You just got to go to the revive station, bro. Get my card.
Oh yeah, my bad. Recluse is the sorcerer. Yep. Yeah, no, this was like I said, this is a huge surprise, and I'm very very excited for this. More Elden Ring. Again, Shadow of the Erdtree was awesome, and I was so sad when it was over, and now we get more Elden Ring. I'm here for it, man.
Yeah, I was thinking like, okay, Shadow of the Erdtree, that's my fill. I'll see you guys the next 2 to 3 years for the whatever you're working on next. No, you'll see me next year.
Yep. In Elden Ring Battle Royale, I'll take it. But again, not really Battle Royale. I should.
Yeah. You don't fight people.
You don't fight people, but potentially, I don't know. All right. Next up is Dispatch. This is made by the same people who worked on The Wolf Among Us, Tales from the Borderlands, and Telltale's Walking Dead. This was introduced by Aaron Paul and Laura Bailey, who are part of the voice cast. Sorry, Evan Bailey.
No, Evan Paul.
Wow. Evan Bailey.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Laura Paul. Sorry. Evan Paul and Laura Bailey are part of the voice cast. They also had a really funny bit on stage. A lot of tension, I should say, as well.
Yeah, it felt like I shouldn't be there.
But Dispatch is a superhero workplace comedy where choices matter. You manage a dysfunctional team of misfit heroes and strategize who to send to emergencies around the city while balancing office politics, personal relationships, and your own quest to become a hero. You play as a guy who was originally a hero called Mecha Man, but he loses his suit, and so now he has to work at an office to help with dispatching heroes. While at the same time doing this job, they will rebuild his mecha suit so he can become Mecha Man again. When we saw this too, me and Colt were both like, is this a TV show? And also too, the style reminded me of the Invincible show a little bit. And another show, the oh gosh, if anybody remembers the Iron Man animated show, but the one where Iron Man's like a kid or something. It kind of reminds me of that a little bit, but no, this looked awesome. I'm very interested. This looks like a lot of fun. It also, speaking of going back to the voice cast, it's going to have Jeffrey Wright, Aaron Yvette, Jack Septiceye, Moist Critical, Alana Pierce, Travis Willingham, Joel Haver, Lance Kanstopoulos, Matthew Mercer, and Thought Squad.
There's a bunch. They're working with some YouTubers. I've never heard of Lance Kanstopoulos. I'm assuming that's a YouTuber because that last name cannot be real. And Thought Squad is definitely a YouTuber because, like I said, that can't be a real person's name.
Looking at it right now, that is a person's birth name, Colt.
Kanstopoulos?
No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
Thought Squad.
Oh, okay. My bad.
Definitely. And it was so funny because I think Colt heard the Bat character has the voice of Moist Critical. I didn't hear it, but
he does. It is Moist Critical.
So that's really funny. Yeah,
gonna eat those Twinks.
I'm excited for this. This seems really awesome. Especially to like the people behind it. This workplace kind of comedy style with heroes. Like I said, it looks like a lot of fun, and I'm always here for from the same people who made these games.
Oh yeah, I'm a huge Telltale fan, and even though it's not Telltale, it's same people that made it, so I'm
Same
all in.
hands. Yeah, same. Next up is we had a big reveal, huge fucking reveal, that it actually had Jeff crying beforehand, which I understand. I completely get because this is so fucking huge. And like you said, it just happens to be so lucky with how everything is aligned that they can announce this. But Capcom is finally making a sequel to Okami. Came out originally in 2006. It is an action adventure game inspired by The Legend of Zelda and Japanese folklore. And then an even bigger surprise was that the game director, Hideki Kamiya, is returning to work on it with his new studio, Clovers, which is a sequel of sorts to the shuttered studio, Clover Studio. Okami 2. Okami 2 was announced, and it was awesome.
Oh yeah, it was so awesome that I immediately downloaded Okami 1, the HD, on my PlayStation 5, and I started playing it last night, and it's really fun. It has held up very well over the years, and I can't wait to keep playing it. But this Okami 2, it was just a trailer that was definitely like nowhere near what we're gonna get for the final product, but it's still just the fact that it's happening. That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you for that, Colt. It's a very big moment.
I mean, it is a big moment, but it's like when Bethesda announced the Elder Scrolls 6. This is nothing of the final product. We're going to get the final product from this in probably 5 years, which I'm very excited to get. But we got shown nothing of the game, basically.
Colt, problematic? Question mark. Let us
No.
know. Let us know. No, it's a big moment. They only really showed us this little snippet here, but the announcement is it in of itself is the big deal. Colt.
I mean, it's called Okami sequel. That's not a title.
No, it had 2.
No, it was called Okami sequel.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I call it Okami 2 because it's technically the second Okami game, not counting the DS Okami Den.
Oh man, I could have sworn. Okay, well, I thought it was called Okami too.
It just shows to prove that like they don't really have much done on it. Is what I'm using that as evidence for.
Just say you hate them. Just say it.
Yeah,
just say
I hate Platinum Games. You know, the creators of everything that I love, basically. But hey, this isn't Platinum Games, but it's gonna have a lot of people from Platinum Games. Yeah, because Platinum Games seems to be collapsing in on itself with everyone leaving them. That's a different topic.
That's a different thing. But yeah. Next up is Stage of Fright. This is from the makers of Overcooked. Comes new cooperative experience. Take your friend on an amazing adventure as you explore, solve escape rooms, overcome fiendish obstacles, and unravel an ancient mystery. Yeah, this looked pretty cool. It kind of has this like this almost stop motion kind of animation to it, and the screen gets split to where like one character is like in this kind of like haunted world, and then the other character is like in the sci-fi world. We did have split fiction, but this is this is different from that, obviously.
It's in the same vein, which is good because we need more co-op games like this, honestly. So
yeah. No, looks really, really fun. So
yeah, I'm very excited for this. Let me have more co-op games, please.
Next up is Dying Light the Beast. Dying Light the Beast is a standalone zombie adventure set in the post-apocalyptic Castor Woods, a once popular tourist destination. After 13 years of enduring experiments, you escape and hunt down your captors to seek retribution, only to discover there's far more at stake. While the region is not as populated as it once was, there are still people and factions here, as well as plenty of horrors. Some will ask for your help, others will want to kill you, and that's not meant to mention the mysterious creature that turned the woods into its personal hunting grounds. You're going to be playing as Kyle Crane, who like I said, has been held captive for over a decade. And another entry into the Dying Light series. This comes out summer 2025.
Very excited for this. Being able to play as the protagonist from the first game is very nice. Also, fucking beautiful game. Like whatever they're playing it on, graphically, this looks insane. It looks very pretty.
Yeah, it looked good. I'm excited for it. I love Dying Light, so I'm here for more Dying Light.
Just let me drop kick some more zombies because you can do it.
Exactly. Next up is we got Virtua Fighter 6. This was revealed here. They really didn't show much, but it's the newest numbered entry in 2 decades, and there was a Virtua Fighter Direct at the time of we're recording this. It's Friday, so yesterday, the 13th. I haven't watched that, but yeah, I don't know anything about Virtua Fighter, but I know this is a big deal.
Yeah, it's pretty big. I like Wenzel. I don't know much about Virtua Fighter. I just know RGG makes incredible games where you are fighting. So hell yeah, gimme that, gimme.
And then next up is
Ryuga Gotoko's Project Century. This is a game that I added because this is pretty huge from them. It's set in the like 1915 Japan. You play as someone, not Yakuza, I don't think. I don't know. The thing is, we don't know anything about this game other than the gameplay they showed, and the gameplay looked crazy. It's not typical Yakuza start encounter fight. It looked more realistic, purposeful combat. It was slower, but in a good way. I'm very excited for this, just from that alone. If I could compare it to something, it's like a Japanese Yakuza, which is what a lot of people call, or Japanese GTA, which is what a lot of people call Yakuza, and that is not accurate in any way. But we just got to see more gameplay, hear more about it, to really know what the fuck's going on there. Different art style too. It has more of a cartoony style to it. Very excited for this.
all right. Well, next up is Onimusha: The Way of the Sword. This is the first new title in the Onimusha series from Capcom in over 20 years. Another big Capcom reveal here is this is part of a series of games that include like swordplay action, and you assume the role of warriors with superhuman powers of the Oni and fight against monsters. In this one, it's set to release globally in 2026. It is a Japanese-inspired dark fantasy game set at the beginning of the Edo period in Kyoto, which has been eerily transformed by clouds of malice. In this one, the samurai protagonist is equipped with the Oni Gauntlet, which is like this eyeball. It looked really cool, and you have to, you're gonna have to fight grotesque and otherworldly creatures known as the Genma.
Yeah, this was another trailer that made me want to get the Onimusha game that's on PlayStation as well. It looks sick, but same situation as Okami. No gameplay, but it did seem like a more finished product with the amount of detail that went into the trailer.
Yeah, the trailer there was there some gameplay in the trailer?
No, it was all CG, which is it's beautiful, beautiful CG, especially on that eye and the way it sucks up the souls.
Yeah, it looked crazy. It was cool. I'm interested in it. All right, next up is Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. This is a new entry into this Sonic spin-off series that's kart racing. In this trailer, we have Shadow getting into his car and driving off into a dimensional portal. And this is supposed to come out in 2025, and we don't know who is developing it.
Almost like they just announced this just because Sonic 3 comes out in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know shit about this game. They just said, like, here's Shadow driving a car and this game's name. Bye.
Yep. All right. Next up is Turok Origins. This is from Saber Interactive. This is going to be a new This is new, right? This is a new entry, not a remake or anything.
I don't know. I don't know. I think it's gonna be new. I'm gonna go with new. I don't know. It's called Origins.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I'm just checking. I'm just double checking. Yeah. So we did get some gameplay. But this is going to be a different take on the gameplay. Play as the legendary Turok warriors to face off against ferocious dinosaurs and a terrifying alien threat that seeks to destroy all human life across the galaxy. I say different because it's going to be in third person. It used to be in first, and there's going to be 3-player co-op. And also, what was really cool too is like the characters that we see. They like one of them changes up their skin to be more like scales, and it seems like maybe these 3 characters are going to be unique, have different abilities. I don't know, but we did, like I said, we did get some blank gameplay. It looks really cool. I'm excited. It's been forever since I've played Turok. I don't know too much about Turok in general. I've only played the one on GameCube. It scared me, but no, it was great.
Yeah, this if you're not aware, Saber Interactive, they made Space Marine 2, and honestly, it looks like it plays exactly the same, which is good. So hell yeah, I'm interested.
Yeah. All right. Next up is what we had already known is Mafia of the Old Country got revealed here with we get a cinematic trailer. Uncover the origins of organized crime in Mafia of the Old Country, a gritty mob story set in the brutal world of 1900s Sicily. Fight to survive as Enzo Favara in this immersive third-person action adventure. It's the 4th entry and a prequel in the Mafia series. This is reportedly supposed to come in mid 2025.
I'm very excited to go through old Italy and to be in the Mafia, because I love every single Mafia game. I enjoyed every single one of them, and it's just nice to go back to Italy after watching. Jesus Christ, we've watched a ton of Italian movies this year, and it's just Italy's beautiful. Let me go back there and explore it before Nazis.
Yeah, who would have thought Italy is pretty? Am I right?
Not me. From all the fucking Jersey shit I've seen. Walk in here.
No, I've actually never played a Mafia game.
They are very PS3, 360 era games.
Okay. That doesn't what does that do for me?
I feel like that's pretty easy to understand when it comes to like Warhammer. Space Marine 2 is a 360 PS3 era game. It's not very advanced. It's pretty simple. It will have an open world that you can't really interact with outside of running over people. That's really it.
Okay. That's a lot more than just saying it's PS3 360 era.
PS3 360 era open world game, basically.
Well,
maybe even PS2. It's not very advanced.
Well, I mean, you say that, but like Skyrim, Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas were open world, and I mean, they were,
that's why I tacked on PS2, because like there's not much to the game outside the main story, but they're considered open world games.
Well, regardless, I mean, I'm kind of curious. Look, I'll be honest. I've never had any interest in the Mafia games. like I don't know.
You're gonna get castrated now. You shouldn't have said that.
I'm interested in the Italian movies, novels, and stuff, but the Mafia games don't. I don't care. I'm sorry. I mean, I guess I should watch some gameplay of the Old Country if I could see any. But yeah,
that's just being anti-Italian. All right, guys, get them.
Ow.
No, they'll come. They just gotta wait for this episode to get uploaded. They haven't heard it yet.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, for those who are, and I know this is a big deal for them. There you go. But So this was Jeff's. The last thing we're gonna talk about is Jeff's one more thing. Well, something that we actually got told. Not the name, but we got told that something was going to be here, and it was we didn't realize that it was going to be his one more thing bit. But we got the newest game from Naughty Dog. We got their official announcement. It is Intergalactic: The Heretic Project, currently in development for the PlayStation 5. Has been in development since 2020, for the past 4 years. So that's pretty crazy. Did you want to make a guess as to when this game would come out, Colt?
Realistically, probably at the earliest 2026.
I am thinking 2026 as well. And I'm just saying this because for future us, we can be like, oh shit, we called it, you know. No, well, yes, but when we saw this is crazy because again, it's just a CG trailer. Don't get me wrong, but like it has aesthetics and vibes that we fucking love, and then come to find out that it's inspired by Akira and Cowboy Bebop, which has again the aesthetics in it. So this is a synopsis. Basically, Intergalactic stars our newest protagonist, Jordan A. Munn, a dangerous bounty hunter who ends up stranded on Semperia, a distant planet whose communication with the outside universe went dark hundreds of years ago. In fact, anyone who's flown to it hoping to unravel its mysterious past was never heard from again. Jordan will have to use her skills and wits if she hopes to be the first person in over 600 years to leave its orbit. And this takes place, as I've read, it takes place in an alternate 1980s because there's a bunch of 80s aesthetic stuff to it. Like not only that, there's real world brands. The spaceship that she flies is a Porsche spaceship. She has Adidas shoes. She even has a Sony music player, and she even plays a CD of an album from the Pet Shop Boys. Like what the hell?
There's a lot of brands here, and it feels crazy. It just feels very strange because I've never seen this many brands in a game. I don't think outside of like a Madden, FIFA game like that.
Yeah, not like a story game like this. That is like not like a that's not a sports game. Like racing sports stuff has brands in it for obvious reasons. But this is not that. Not only that, too, it got revealed Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross are doing the soundtrack. Jordan, our character, is played by Tati Gabrielle, and then not only that, we saw the picture of Kumail Nanjiani. So there's more than likely going to be some. I mean, I assume there's going to be some names in the cast as well.
There are some names in the cast because they also have Tony Dalton. He played Lalo Salamanca in Better Call Saul, which he is a phenomenal actor. I absolutely love him in there. So hell yes to seeing him in this game.
Yeah, like this, like I don't know, I it was gorgeous. I'm very excited. At the end of the trailer too, she's on the planet and she's going to fight this weird mech looking skull thing. And it's cool because it has that kind of Akira style, like light kind of what is it? Not tracing, but like
trail,
the light trail with the eyes, and then also with her blade. There's a lot like being put into this. I mean, a lot of hands, a lot of names. Like I think I saw somewhere where like over 200 developers have been working on this since 2020. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm always down for sci-fi stuff, and especially one that's inspired by two of the greatest things in anime, Akira and Cowboy Bebop. Hell yeah.
And the fact that it's Naughty Dog, and they've never really delved into this genre other than Jack. So, and plus Jack was cartoonish and so this is different. This is newer, and plus it's been 20 years since the last Jack. Ooh, very excited to see what they can do.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, that's really it for all of the world premieres and big announcements. No, Jeff wasn't lying. Nobody was lying. This was insane.
Yeah, this is in my opinion, this was the best Game Awards because it was just constantly throwing at you insane shit. The only downside was we didn't see a new Resident Evil game. Sad about that.
Yeah.
Didn't see
Yeah.
Death Stranding 2.
Yeah.
Too much Gacha, but that's it.
Yeah. But I mean, we like Cole. I think it's the best. It was just a great time. What 3 games would you say you are excited for?
Like in order of most excited to least.
Nah, it doesn't matter. You can put it in
Doesn't
whatever
matter.
order.
Awesome. Oh, Elden Ring obviously is one of them. Obviously. I'm gonna go with Intergalactic is another one, and probably the third one is gonna be Borderlands 4. Oh no, scratch that. Witcher 4. Witcher 4 replaces Borderlands 4. But yeah, Intergalactic, Elden Ring, and Witcher 4.
Yeah, hell yeah. I mean, you could really pick anything out of this. Oof. It's too hard for me, so I'm not going to answer.
Okay, thanks for asking.
No, I would say Elden Ring because we're getting more Elden Ring. I would say Intergalactic, and I would say third one's hard.
Zenless Zone Zero, it already out. And that new DNF gotcha.
Yeah, no. No, a lot of good stuff was announced. Split Fiction. I would put Split Fiction as my third.
Okay, that's fair.
I loved playing A Way Out and It Takes Two, and I love Yosef, and I'm excited for this. So yeah.
Gaming has never been better, in my opinion. I think we're in for an insane year. It's stacked already in 2025. I'm worried how much money I'm going to be paying for video games next year.
Oh God, 2025 is. I mean, if everything from Summer Games Fest and from this releases in 2025, 2025 is stacked.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, if everything that's announced for 2026 releases as well, I mean, shit, like, all right. Any final thoughts? Anything else?
Jeff Keighley, it's okay. The Muppets are just stop inviting them. All they do is just bully you, especially those two. You can maybe have Elmo show up this next year. I think Elmo could probably help you out a little bit.
Next year we see Jeff strangle Elmo.
Yeah, it's gonna be like one of those revenge killings where he's like, "I'll kill your most beloved for what you said to me."
Well, didn't oh gosh, what's his name?
Trash Man?
No. Was it Larry David who choked Elmo or attacked
Yes,
Elmo?
it was Larry David that choked Elmo, and then a lot of fucking grown ass people were like, "That is so fucked up. Why would you do that to Elmo?" And when in reality, it's the funniest thing ever. And honestly, I would do the same thing because it's funny.
I would do the same. I love Elmo, but Elmo's not real.
Yeah. You're grabbing my wrist.
Oh yeah, I'm like, you're choking a hand. Like, the hand will still be there.
Also, just tell your kid that Elmo has superpowers. He can't die.
Yeah, like, is he not, like, at some point, right? Like, probably when he gets older, he's gonna be like, oh, Elmo isn't a real person. Like, the kids will be fine.
And also, just think about it. Elmo is going to outlive Larry David 100%.
Yeah.
So who wins really? Elmo.
All right. Well, thank you for listening to us. We're the All You Can Hear podcast. You can find us on SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Overcast, and YouTube. Follow us on Bluesky at aychpodcast.bsky.social. Leave us a review, 5 stars, subscribe to us wherever you may listen to podcasts. Really appreciate that. I should have mentioned that first. Follow us on TikTok at AYCH Podcasts. Follow us on Instagram, AYCH Podcasts. Follow us on twitch.tv/AllYouCanHear, where the VODs from our Twitch go up on our YouTube, All You Can Hear, along with the instruction booklets as well. And lastly, you can follow me, Wenzel, on my art Instagram, Threads, and Bluesky as World of Wenzel. I have renamed my Bookstagram from Wenzel Banters to Wenzel's Essentials. There's a reason for that, and the time is nigh. I just got to make sure that people understand that they don't see Wenzel Banters anymore. It's because it's Wenzel's Essentials now. And there's a reason. My link tree has links for everything, including my Goodreads, Letterboxd, and music board. Thank you.
My name Colt. Follow me on Bluesky at ColtD99. We're gonna be gaming. We're gonna be playing.
Yep, we'll be gaming.
Oh, oh.